In today's fascinating case, we will delve into a topic that sparks the imagination and curiosity of countless people around the world: the mystery surrounding the location of the legendary Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is one of the most sacred objects in the Bible, built during Israel's exodus in the desert. Like the other artifacts in the tabernacle, the Ark of the Covenant was meticulously constructed according to a heavenly model. King Solomon built a magnificent temple to house it, where the Ark remained until shortly before its destruction, about 600 years before the Messiah. During this turbulent period in Jewish history, the Ark of the Covenant disappeared, giving rise to several theories and speculations about its whereabouts, which continue to this day. In the Second Temple, a place that Yeshua, Jesus, frequented on some occasions, there was no longer the Ark of the Covenant. During Yom Kippur, an annual ritual in which the high priest entered the Holy of Holies, the blood of animals was sprinkled on a stone where the Ark used to rest, and no longer on the sacred relic. However, after so many centuries since his disappearance, will it be possible to find clues or even proof of his whereabouts? Are there hitherto forgotten documents that can guide us on this arduous journey in search of the sacred? That is exactly what we will disclose in this video. Prepare for shocking revelations that will shed light on this dark topic that has sparked the imagination of many: the true hiding place of the Ark of the Covenant. Located in the Christian quarter of the Old City of Jerusalem, there is a place that Catholic tradition identifies as the true site of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. Faithful from different parts of the world visit this place, believing that the greatest events in the history of humanity took place there: the death and resurrection of the Son of God. Between 326 and 335 AD, the Roman Emperor Constantine built the Church of the Holy Sepulchre on this site over what was believed to be the tomb of Jesus, close to Golgotha in Catholic tradition. According to this same tradition, the discovery of the sepulchre of Jesus and the true cross was carried by Empress Helena of Constantinople, mother of Constantine, in the year 325. Also, on her pilgrimage through the Holy Land, Helena claimed to have discovered the stone on which Jesus placed his feet while riding a donkey during his triumphal entry into Jerusalem. However, not everyone agrees with these traditions. One of the arguments against it is the biblical account that says that the crucifixion and burial of Jesus took place outside the walls of Jerusalem, while the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and Golgotha of the Catholic tradition are located within the city limits, contrary to the biblical description. In 1841, Dr. Edward Robinson's biblical researches in Palestine, then widely recognized as the leading reference on the topography and archaeology of the Holy Land, challenged the authenticity of the traditional location. Robinson emphatically concluded,
"The Golgotha and tomb displayed in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre do not correspond to the actual sites of the crucifixion and resurrection."
In 1842, building on Robinson's meticulous research, Otto Thenius, a prominent German theologian and Bible scholar from Dresden, was the first to publicly propose that the rocky hill north of the Damascus Gate, remarkably resembling a skull, could be the Golgotha mentioned in Scripture. Years later, this same identification received support from the American industrialist Fisher Howe, who also distinguished himself as one of the founding members of the Board of Directors of the Union Theological Seminary in New York. In the 1870s, the recognition of Skull Hill as a possible site of Golgotha was largely driven by several notable figures in Jerusalem. Among them, the American consul in the city, Selah Merrill, who in addition to his diplomatic role, was Congregationalist minister and active member of the American Palestine Exploration Society. The Protestant Bishop of Jerusalem, Samuel Gobat, also played a crucial role in this promotion, presiding over the joint bishopric for Anglicans, Lutherans, and Calvinists in the Holy Land. In addition, Konrad Schick, renowned Swiss architect, urban planner, and proto-archaeologist, contributed significantly to this cause, writing hundreds of articles for the Palestine Exploration Fund. The engagement of these personalities highlighted the importance and viability of the Hill of the Skull as a site of archaeological and historical interest. In 1879, Ernest Renan, the renowned French scholar and author of the influential but controversial Life of Jesus, pondered the prospect of Skull Hill as a possible site of Golgotha in one of the later editions of his work. Nonetheless, the most notorious proponent of the idea that Skull Hill is the biblical Golgotha was Major General Charles Gordon, who explored Jerusalem in 1882 and 83. By carrying out painstaking research and analysis in the region, focusing especially on the rock formation in skull-shaped and in an adjacent tomb, Gordon became convinced that this was, in fact, the authentic site mentioned in the Gospels. His name became so intrinsically linked to Skull Hill that many contemporary articles and guides erroneously claim that Gordon was the first discovering the place. Charles George Gordon was born in Woolwich, Kent, as the son of Major General Henry William Gordon and Elizabeth. The men of the Gordon family, over 4 generations, served as officers in the British Army. As a descendant of a military lineage, Gordon was raised with the expectation of representing the family's 5th military generation. The idea of him following a path other than a military career seems to have never been considered by his parents. During his teenage years as a cadet, Gordon stood out for his exceptional talents in map-making and fortification design, an aptitude that led him to choose a career in the Royal Army Engineers. As an officer, Gordon displayed remarkable charisma and leadership. However, his superiors often distrusted him due to his propensity to disobey orders he considered erroneous or unfair. Of average height, with striking blue eyes, Gordon possessed a captivating presence, capable to inspire men to follow his example under any circumstances. To this day, Gordon is remembered in military ceremonies for his remarkable courage and determination throughout his illustrious career. Gordon received his first assignment to build fortifications at Milford Haven, Pembrokeshire, Wales. During his stay at Milford Haven, he cultivated friendship with a young couple, Francis and Anne Drew, who introduced him to evangelical Protestantism. A passage that left a deep mark on Gordon was Philippians chapter 1, verse 21, where the Apostle Paul writes,
"For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain."
Gordon highlighted this passage in his Bible and quoted it frequently. Exploring his faith, Gordon participated in several congregations, including Roman Catholic, Baptist, Presbyterian, and Methodist. Despite his appreciation for religious diversity, Gordon never formally joined or became a member of any church. He once shared with a Roman Catholic priest his view that the church is like the British Army, one army but many regiments, highlighting his unique and unconventional approach to his faith. Around 1880, Gordon was assigned to the Sudan with broad powers as Governor General. His mission was to contain Ahmed, an influential tribal leader who proclaimed himself the Islamic Messiah, known as Mahdi, the Awaited. This leader challenged Egypt and the world by calling for a holy war. Faced with this imminent threat, Gordon devised a plan to evacuate the capital Khartoum, aiming to avoid a potential massacre. However, in 1885, British forces suffered a decisive defeat, resulting in the loss of Gordon's life in battle, followed by the tragic incident of his beheading. The British press portrayed Gordon as a holy Christian hero and martyr who nobly perished while resisting the attack of the supposed Islamic Messiah. Even in 1901, on the anniversary of his death, the Times described him as that solitary figure, holding the flag of England against the dark hordes of Islam. Gordon's death triggered a deep wave of national grief across Britain, and on March 13, 1885, the country set aside the day as an official mourning for the fallen hero of Khartoum.
For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain.
In the book General Gordon on Golgotha, released in 2012, previously unpublished letters written by Gordon were revealed. In these correspondences, dating from his stay in Palestine in 1882 to 83, Gordon shares remarkable discoveries about his investigations on Skull Hill, offering information about the location of sacred objects in the tabernacle, such as the table of showbread and the Ark of the Covenant. On page 47 of the book, Gordon records what is important about the Hill of Golgotha, such as Jeremiah's cave, and he goes on to say,
This hill is outside gates near city where many roads pass. From long time back slaughterhouse of city has been there. It is north of the city. Shewbread table is in it.
On page 55, Gordon continues to share startling revelations.
Jeremiah wrote Lamentations in the cave. The Ark of the Covenant is there. The Ark of the Covenant is there.
We do not know how General Gordon came to these conclusions, but about 100 years later, Ron Wyatt, an American explorer and researcher, excavated the area and found evidence of previous excavations. Would Gordon have excavated there? Ron Wyatt, who also had a brief military career, serving his country during the Korean War, undertook meticulous excavations in this region, focusing his research a few yards west of Skull Hill. Ron Wyatt's investigations, carried out without access to the information contained in General Gordon's letters, as they were only released in 2012, 13 years after his death, corroborate Gordon's statements. Wyatt reported discovering in a cave the Ark of the Covenant and other objects from the tabernacle, surprisingly, about 40 feet below the site of Jesus' crucifixion. Wyatt also identified a crack connecting the site of the crucifixion to the cave where the Ark was kept. Through this crack, Ron realized that the blood of the Messiah had flowed onto the mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant. When trying to make his discovery official with the Israeli authorities at the time, Wyatt claimed to have faced threats that prevented him from publicly disclosing the evidence, resulting in a wave of criticism and skepticism from the academic community, a distrust that persists to this day. As for the book containing General Gordon's letters, after being associated with Ron Wyatt's discoveries, it was withdrawn from circulation, becoming unavailable for purchase both on online sales portals and in physical stores. Misinformation and fake news against research in the person of Ron Wyatt have been disseminated en masse by opponents of his work, with the aim of disqualifying and ridiculing him. Nevertheless, on our channel, we will respond to each of them through videos that present documents and images highlighting the falseness of the accusations against the work of Ron Wyatt and General Gordon. However, the question remains, why? Why is this information being discredited and even hidden from the public? To discover the answer and fully understand the story behind Ron Wyatt's discovery of the Ark of the Covenant, I invite you to watch the next video, The Truth About the Discovery of the Ark of the Covenant.